Welcome to my channel, everyone. I made a big change on my channel. So basically this video is about to get an overall market view of the cryptos, and I think this is also going to give you a surplus value. So in this update we're going to talk about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin dominance, the USDT dominance, and the total crypto market cap 3, which is an index of the top 125 altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, if you also want to start trading, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc. Why that? Because mexc was one of the exchanges which wasn't down once the crash happened. And here I can show you this. I went into long positions for render almost at the low and doubled up here as well. So basically mexc didn't have any kind of issues. And if you want to start trading there, then you find my referral link in the video description, where you can save 20% discount on all your trades. And on top of that, there are currently almost 200 pairs which you can trade without any kind of fees, just on mexc. So we will just jump into the Bitcoin analysis. What did we say and what happened? I can say that the analysis was pretty good from my side. We have said that once we get to $118,200, we should sell off into $101,160 US. But this was an analysis before. That's why it's important to get updated daily, because we have said in this market stage we are going to get into long positions, because we should see at least a corrective movement to the upside, maybe 116,000. From there we should sell off, or we break to the upside, the 118,400 US, and then we should go for the 119,400, 123,150 US. We even made a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So I can finally take it out of the chart. We had a fair value gap down to 101,160 US, and we filled it most likely. What I have to do here just happened a bit differently. We still went to 101,000, 102,000 in that area, but we started it from up here. So I can also delete it from the chart. What do I think now? Do I think that Bitcoin is going to get a new all-time high very soon? I would say it is possible, but we also have to keep in mind that the market stage can always change. So I have just drew here the fib retracements of this sell-off. I'm excluding this wick because that would actually get us a failed analysis. So what we see right now is that we get rejected at the 0.382 Fibonacci. We are building on a smaller time frame a bull flag. So if the bull flag breaks to the upside, which is the price level, sorry, not this one right here, of 115,440 US. Then I think we are going to see a new top for Bitcoin in the area between $117,875 to $118,750 US. I will give you here the two price marks. So there are also fair value gaps. And if we break it to the upside, then we can also get into 121,150 US to fill the fair value gap. From there we have to see, was this here the first sharp sell-off, and this right here is just a correction to the upside, or are we going to begin a new bullish cycle for Bitcoin where we can see a new all-time high? The question, I can't answer you it right now. For that we have to wait for the overall market structure, because once we break here to the upside and get into $117,800 round about that area, then we have to see if we are going to see a bullish pullback where we get a consolidation, maybe retesting the old levels right here. Then we might have a falling wedge pattern, which then breaks to the upside. And if I measure then, for example, the length, and I put it here to the breakout point, and we are going to close over the green trend line, then I would say, okay, we are bullish, and maybe 130,000, 140,000 for Bitcoin is possible. What I also think is this is going to get very realistic. Why that? Because you have seen the altcoins. If we are going to look over specific altcoins, for example, Render made a crash from this price level to this one of 87%. I will show you something very interesting, because if we look into Atom USDT on Binance, look where the coin went. I looked into it, it was $0.01, so basically 1 cent. How much is it? Minus 99.99, most likely. Yeah, a bit lower. Yeah. So, what I think is that everyone says, yeah, altcoins, stupid. Why should I invest into the altcoins? Bitcoin did also a crash, but the crash was not that much. That crash was just 16.5%, which is nothing compared to what Bitcoin did in the past. You can just jump into the 4-hour chart. We can look around. If we find something, for sure this was very fast, but if we just look at the correction which we got here, I would say this is more than 16%. 12%. This one right here was a 31% crash, correction over the longer time period. So basically, yes, that can happen, but it might be possible that the whole correction is done. This is also possible after we getting such a liquidity sweep. Might be possible that we are looking for new all-time highs soon. But so far, I need to wait for the confirmation. A good one would be breaking the green trend line to the upside, 118,830 US dollar. But then we have the fair value gaps. It might be just possible that we are going to fill them and from there sell off. Or we see a nice bullish chart pattern, which directs us into higher prices for Bitcoin. If we now look over the Bitcoin dominance, we have predicted it pretty good. We have said that we are coming from a panel. The target of the panel was the price mark or the percentage of 61.33%. We overshot it. We will go into the USDT dominance. The USDT dominance was perfectly, 100% perfectly predicted. The Bitcoin dominance was far more bullish. That's why the altcoins crashed far more, because the USDT dominance went up. The Bitcoin dominance is going up. That means Bitcoin is outperforming the altcoins. What I see right now is that we got this kind of push. Everyone is scared investing into altcoins. We see a falling wedge forming right now. We have a bullish divergence in the Bitcoin dominance. I can imagine that people are going to look for Bitcoin, investing into this one. Then the Bitcoin dominance is going to get up. It might be even possible that the Bitcoin dominance is going to get a new top. This is not a problem as long as Bitcoin is going up. It doesn't mean that your altcoin is going to die, same like we had on Friday. That's not what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say that Bitcoin is outperforming. And if Bitcoin is going to do a new all-time high, even 140,000 US dollar, and Bitcoin is doing this, then we might see the altcoin season afterwards. But this is a very, I don't want to say rare scenario, but this is not my primarily scenario. I would just say that we are going to see a correction for the Bitcoin dominance, and the price mark of 60.35% is going to get interesting. If we are going to get rejected there and sell off, then it might be very positive for the altcoins. If we now look over the USDT dominance, then I can say that we have predicted it pretty well. We came from a falling wedge, a big one even. We broke it to the upside. We got our retest and we got even a lower point here. Target was 5.44%. We went to 5.4%. So the target got missed by a very, very small amount. And I have warned you from this one. So what do I think for the USDT dominance? For the USDT dominance, I would even say that it might be possible that we are going to see a higher high to this one. I'm not talking about this one right here. I'm talking more about this one, that we can sell off to 4.59%. Why that? Because this is here huge support. I will give you also here the price mark. That would mean that the cryptos are going up. So if the USDT dominance is going down, the cryptos are going up. .59%. If they break to the downside, it would be positive. If not, then we have to think about at least getting something like this before we sell off in the USDT dominance. That would also mean that we are going to see a pullback for the cryptos. Might be even possible that some coins are going to get a new low, not lower than the one on Friday, but I'm talking about the one which we got on the weekend. And then the cryptos can actually start a nice push to the upside, where I would also say it might be even possible that we are also going to see the altcoin season. While we get a dropping USDT dominance, we might even see a dropping Bitcoin dominance at the same time. If we now look over the total crypto market cap 3, then let's go back into the 1 hour chart. I've just taken the fib retracements. So basically, I don't count this wick in. I ignore this one. But what we can see right now is that we are at the 0.5 Fibonacci level. We can also say, if we jump into the 4 hour chart, that we have resistance over us at the mark of 1.11 trillion. So, might be possible that the total crypto market cap 3 is going to get a new top at 1.1 trillion. And from there sets off. We have the 0.618 Fibonacci right there, which is resistance. You can also see that the 0.5 Fibonacci already worked by getting rejected there. Once we break it to the upside, then we should get into the 0.618 Fibonacci, which is also resistance on the chart. And then we have to see if we are just going to fill the fair value gap, forming a higher low to this one. Then the altcoins can get a nice push. If not, then we have to think about a scenario where we can say that once we break the 1.02 trillion to the downside, the chance is even high that we are going to see a new low in the total crypto market cap 3. I'm not counting this low in, but then it might be even possible that we are going to see something like a falling wedge, which will also give us a signal that we are even far more bullish than we were before, with getting a new all-time high for the crypto total market cap 3. So overall, I would say that we have to wait a little bit longer. A little bit longer means waiting for some structure. I can still trade it, yeah, I can still jump into some short positions, but make sure this is just going to be a pullback. Can be a pullback, it can also be a bigger movement to the downside. This is, for at the moment, unclear. If we get a pullback, then it's positive, and we can predict new pushes, which we can also trade on the long side. If we are going to break, for example, the 1.20 trillion to the downside, then we have to think about another 20-30% crash for the altcoins. I'm not going to say they are going to make new lower lows, but this might be even the chance to get into the altcoins if you have missed this whole crash on Friday. So with that said, I hope that this video gave you a surplus value, and we are going to see each other in the Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano and Chainlink Dogecoin update. Afterwards, I will talk about Ondo, Render, HBAR, Avalanche, Sui, Fetch AI and Tau. See you.